what things do you want to be really good at? And we're going to talk a little bit about that here. Chris didn't know that until now, so she just looked at me like, huh? I just told her I wanted to make a video. We're out here on a hike, and where are we, Chris?
We are at Miller Steelhead Park in Skagit County along the Skagit River.
And this river is the only river in the state of Washington that gets all the different species of salmon that come to Washington, that actually all come here into this river. Also, they get 3 or 4 different species of trout, steelhead trout and other trout. And so it's a very, very big deal for fishing in this area. But then another thing, what happens starting later? Now we're here in the fall. This is the first Saturday, October 3rd, so the first Saturday of October. And so, what starts happening at the end of October?
The bald eagles come in.
That's right. This is the largest gathering place of bald eagles in the continental United States. Mm-hmm. The only place that will have more bald eagles than here would be in Alaska, within the United States. And so this would be a beautiful place. I'll be in California at that time, but it looks like that Chris will probably come back sometime the next month or two with her kids. Yeah. Have a good time watching, looking at the eagles. And so going back to this question, what do you want to be good at, really good at? Because we came out here and went on a really nice hike. We just finished up the really nice hike. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's beautiful. It's in the fall foliage and colors. As you watch this video, I'll go ahead and splice in the photos that I took, and just a beautiful, beautiful little hike. And as I was hiking, that's what I was thinking about, because there are so many things that I want to be good at, but in reality, I can't be good at them all. And so I have to then start to think, what are the things that I want to be really good at, and prioritize that. And, like, for instance, I would really like to be really good at sex. But, the thing is, that's not going to help me to make a lot of money unless I find some very rich woman or something,
You're pretty good.
and yeah, I'm not bad. But so I started to just think on this walk, about what are the things I'd like to be good at, but that really translate into all the different areas of my life. And the one thing that kept coming back for me, and Chris, I don't know, because you haven't really been thinking about this, so I don't know if you have anything to talk about with this or not, but for the one thing that came really clear for me is I want to be really good at communication. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm a pretty good communicator.
You are very good.
And so a lot of people, my partners, Chris and Kat, will both tell me that I'm a good communicator, and yet I know I'm not a good communicator. I mean, not as good as I want to be. And there are many different kinds of communication. First of all, one of the things that I have just, kind of settled in with, that's just was something that I did routinely, that I was thinking about today, is that I interrupt regularly when someone else is talking.
Yeah, on occasion.
Yeah,
you do.
And I don't let people finish their conversation or finish their thought, and that's not good communication. And that's one of the things that I started thinking that's going to start to change. Yeah. Because I've just accepted it, and maybe there are things for you that you just accept about you and yourself and your life that really keeps you and holds you back from getting really good at it. And so that's why I asked this question: what do you want to be really good at? And we can't be good at everything. So you've got to take and pick a couple things that you want to start to really kind of make some changes. And you make those changes simply by choosing new options. People think of change as being something that's so difficult and hard, but it's not. It's just choosing between two options. And when you start to look and find the options available to you, and that's what we don't do, is we just focus on the change. First of all, then, think about where it is that you want to go, or what is it that you want to do. I want to be a really great communicator in many different areas of communication. Like making these videos is a form of communication. I want to be a great communicator so that you come back time after time and wow, hear what I have to say, because I communicate such rich and valuable information to you. And I communicate it in a way that you find that's humorous and entertaining, and you just really love to come and listen to me. And same thing with being able to communicate on stage for an audience of, say, 25 people just in a small room, or to an audience of 2,500 or 5,000 people on a big stage. I want to be a communicator to be able to do all that so I can communicate clearly and I can communicate well. But same thing then going down to my relationships. You know, communicating for business is one thing. Communicating in my non-monogamous life is a bit of another thing. You know, like this is communicating for my non-monogamous life. But then communicating in my relationships, you know, be able to have a confidence about me so that I can walk up to any woman, doesn't matter if she's a smoking hot 12 or if she's a 5 or a 2, but every woman has their own level of really charm and beauty and interest. And I want to be able to communicate in a way that I can go up to someone, a woman, because I'm mostly interested in women, you know, and I can go up to a woman and I can, you know, whether she's a 2 or a smoking hot 12, you know, I can go and I can then just get into a conversation. This is conversational communication. Get into a conversation, and even if that woman is the shyest woman on the planet, I can draw her out. That's a communication skill. And so when I think about what I want to be really good at, then that's where I want to really develop and be really good at. And yet I'm a good communicator.
Yes.
Because back when I was in my 20s, I saw this as a shortfall. And so I started to make changes in that I knew that the best leaders on the planet are good communicators. And so I started looking into leadership traits and having things I was reading and studying about for leadership development. And so I started then saying, okay, I need to become a good communicator. And I started to emphasizing how important words are and knowing how to use words. So, Chris, anything you want to talk about as far as, you know, what you want to be good at?
Oh, so many things. But I think communication is huge. Mm-hmm. I'm not a good communicator, as Mark will attest to, especially when it comes to communicating my feelings and my desires. I'm not good at it, and I really do want to become a lot better.
Yeah, so communication goes into a lot of places where in relationships or even at work, you know, or with your kids.
Well, and I'm a much better communicator at work than I am in my personal life. It's almost like it's two separate people almost. I'm a great communicator, more outgoing. At work, on the personal side, I'm shyer, I'm quieter.
Something I've said about you for many years. You're a different person at work than you are in your personal life.
And I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is. I'm very confident at work and not so much outside of work.
Well, I highly recommend Chris's program.
I do like Chris's program.
The program that I'm becoming a coach in, and but will never coach you on that. So it's where you need to get involved in Chris's program, and I highly recommend that because that'll help you to be able to take a look at what you want and being a better communicator. And there's a process that we have that I don't know if you've been through any of it with Chris, but a process that we have where we take two opposing scenarios, like how you are in your personal life and how you are in your work life, and they're totally different. And then we bring them together. It's called integrated parts. And then we have different parts of us, and that those different parts of us bring out different things about us. Sometimes they're not always the kinds of things we want. Sometimes it's one part of us brings out things that we don't want, another part of us brings out things that we really do want, and yet it really is kind of the same part. It's just different parts of us. And so with the process that we have is called integrated parts, where it brings those parts together.
Yeah, good idea. Sounds like a great. I've done a lot of Chris's stuff, and I love it, and I can't wait to get more involved in it. It's really good. And I have really started my step towards better communication. And I can tell. I don't know if it's come across yet, but I'm doing a little better.
You are doing better.
Still working on it, but I'm doing much better. It's like I was afraid I'd say something wrong or say it the wrong way. And now it's like, okay, I'm just going to say it. And the more you practice it, the more you do it, the better you get at it.
You know, and in part, one of the things that, you know, I'm working with right now is learning to be more selfish. And people, you know, it's like such a terrible thing in our society, you know, to be selfish. And yet, really what you're talking about as well is to be able to communicate yourself in a selfish manner so that it serves you, because so often you put yourself down for the other person.
I have been such a people pleaser all my life, and it's like I didn't want to, you know, I can't say that, they might not like it, or, you know, it might not agree with them, or I might not please them. So I've always, I put myself down and not put myself down so much, but suppressed myself to please others and let their feelings and their thoughts and their wants be more important than mine, and they're not.
Yeah, and so last Monday night, before I went on my Monday night video, we got into a conversation talking about our relationship and talking about, you in having a life that is much richer in satisfaction and pleasure, and yet because you're monogamous, that really is a struggle for you, and I know it is. But it's kind of like not my dog. It's just something that I want.
It's my choice.
Yes, it's your choice.
My choice.
And it's something that I want to be able to talk more with you. But this week has not been a week that I could really get into that conversation. But it is something that I want to have more conversation with you about. And right now we're doing it right here live on camera, okay? But and so let's just talk a little bit about that then. I had no plan that this would be where we're going to go with this or anything, because I had been thinking about this until just now. And
sounds like a setup, doesn't it?
No setup to it. I'm sorry.
No.
But because this is a really very real thing with Chris and I, in that she's been monogamous with me now for 11 years. But she knew when she met me. I told her right up front. So she emailed me and says, "Hey, looks like they were."
Your introduction that I read that got me interested, and you said right up front that you were married, you were polyamorous, and you had multiple relationships, and it's like, okay. So I knew when I contacted you. You didn't contact me.
That's right. You contacted me.
You.
Yeah. And so and you have remained monogamous, and I have remained non-monogamous. But now with me spending so much time in California, that because I love and care for you, and I don't want you to feel lonely, and like coming out here today, because I'm going to be going back to California. I don't know exactly when yet. Could be this week, could be next week. I don't know yet. But I'm going to be heading back to California soon, and so we wanted to get out this weekend and do something this weekend. And so here it is Saturday, and what we decided to do is to come up here to Skagit Valley and just. We didn't even know what we're going to do up here. We knew the eagles start coming up here in October, not until later in the month, and let's go up there and just check it out. And just the beautiful fall foliage is gorgeous. And you put into the GPS this eagle.
There is a Eagle Interpretive Center here that does actually. I don't know if they're going to be doing them during COVID, but starting December 5th. They do interpretive nature walks and eagle watching and stuff.
All free of charge.
Yeah, free of charge. So I just put in the Eagle Interpretive Center.
And so it brought us to this park. There's tent campsites here. There's picnic sites. There's RV hookup sites. I mean, just a beautiful, and it's a county park.
And a lot of walking paths.
And a lot of walking paths, and it's just the most amazing, beautiful place. But just getting out into fresh air, and it just really helps. It's just healthy for us, and it helps your brain to just be able to start to think about things. And so
I'm a water person. The water rejuvenates me, and prefer the ocean, but the river behind us, that's amazing. I love the water. That helps. It's just wonderful.
And so I'm heading back to California, and she gets out with her kids, but that's not the same as getting out with someone that just really lights your life up. And so, I encourage you, to find someone that can light your life up.
I have not had a chance yet. There, my friend Dave is moving back up here.
Ah, very good.
He's coming up. He's actually on his way up here now. So I plan to get together with him, and we'll probably do a lot of stuff over the winter.
Well, that makes me feel better, and you've been friends with him a long time.
Oh, since I was 18.
you haven't spent tons of time together. So you're two different people at this point than you were then.
Yeah, than we were now.
And so you know
a lot.
So you don't know how that's going to go. It may go wonderfully.
It may go wonderfully.
There's this couple that is married here in Seattle that. They were high school sweethearts, so they met in college, I think it was, and then they broke up and they went their separate lives, lived their whole life, and he went on financially to make a fortune, and she went on to just be miserable in marriage that she felt trapped in for many years. Then she finally he contacted her. And he says, "Hey, I just came across these old pictures of us in college, and I just wondered if he found her on Facebook," and said, they hadn't talked in 30 years or something like that. And, hey, do you want any of these before I get rid of them? Because I'm clearing things out and all this kind of stuff. My wife passed away, and do you want any of these photos? And so they started talking again. Well, and now they're just like two college kids all in love again, and they've been together now for 5 years, and they got married last summer they got married. And so, you just never know how things will go.
Yeah, I mean, I like having a friendship with him. We've known each other since we were 18. We used to live together. It's fun talking to him. Hasn't really grown up a lot since then, unfortunately. So, but it is fun just having those shared memories and having someone to talk to.
And on the other hand, though, I mean, that's something where I'm at the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm like too much of the grown-up.
Yeah, definitely.
And you have this kind of middle ground there.
And, he still calls himself rude, crude, and socially unacceptable, and he loves it, and that's how he's always been. So, and he's a friend. He's a good friend. If nothing else, he's a great friend.
Yeah.
And it's been all these years.
So that's music to my ears. We're getting beat up by the leaves. So that's music to my ears. And so you guys heard it first right along with me here.
I'm not saying it's a big love match or anything like that, but it's just someone to hang out with and do something once in a while. He's going to be living down by Vancouver.
And so that sounds wonderful. Vancouver, Washington.
Yes, his son lives out there, down there.
Well, so this video's gone now, so over 17 minutes, so I think it's time to go ahead and ask you to, if you liked the video, give it a like.
Like it, is it down below?
Yeah,
like it down below.
And subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed before, and just keep watching. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it.